Formula Endurance's first season has now had a driver's champion 10 rounds in, but now we're looking for a constructor's champion with just 2 rounds remaining. We have tonight in Abu Dhabi, and we have next week in Suzuka. Welcome along, folks. I'm your commentator, Ryan Searles. I'm by myself for tonight's event, and let's kick things off with short qualifying under the lights in Abu Dhabi. So, tonight's event consists of 18 drivers, which is better than what we've been seeing, I would say, or at least about the same, but better in terms of what the attendance was looking like just a little bit ago. We'll go over the driver standings from second on back in a little bit, but Scyther's your first Formula Endurance champion. Congratulations to him. Jack is second place there. That's who lost the title to Scyther. We'll go over the rest of that in a little bit. Hunted Season 2 McLaren seat for Formula Endurance. That's confirmed. Valk on loan for AlphaTauri tonight. Cintrix, who usually races Tier 2, is racing tonight for Red Bull. Scyther on loan to Alpine. Kipu on loan to Williams. We have Born in Shanghai returning as well. How about that? RSF1 Invade in the top car for Ferrari tonight. Little shocker there. JTK got his fifth place reinstated last week after a game glitch. He's in Red Bull. Zakaria, another chance in Aston Martin. And GSR Virid didn't have the best of races last week, but he is here once again. A FE exclusive for him. One of the only drivers who does FE only. So, Abu Dhabi is a very interesting circuit for RPL. We've had many good and bad things happen around this circuit. 16 turns for tonight's event. With that said, under the lights, Season 9 F1 winner Jack Miles is looking to add another win here, this time in Formula Endurance. It's been quite a bit since Tier 2 has been here. F2 was here not too long ago. We had BRT Griffiths take the victory. So yeah, like I said, some good, some bad moments here. We had one title decider come down to this race before in RPL. It was Scyther into Chiller. Lots of controversy surrounding that race. The constructor standings, before we get any laps going, let's talk about it. We've got Jack Miles in the driver standings, 90 points. Owen, 68. KVS, 64. Hunted, 55. But the constructors table, Red Bull lead by 21 points over McLaren. Ferrari and Mercedes need to close in a gap on Red Bull or else they're going to be out of contention. 71 and 78 points back. Let's ride on board with RPL Zakaria and keep it silent for this first sector and 2. RPL Zakaria has had a lot of attendance issues in Tier 1 thus far, but it's good to see him getting through Sector 2 nicely there. Zatsi retiring for Ferrari. I think it was a last-minute decision that has him retiring from the session. As to why he is not going to be competing in this one. Either way, Zakaria, not Zatsi, Zakaria, the other Dutch driver, is coming through the final couple of corners now. Reprofiled the last couple games, so a lot more racing room there. Virid, Cintrix, and now Zakaria across the line to set times. Oh my god. RSF1 Invade is on a lap here, and he's now in the final sector. He got a chance recently a couple weeks ago for Ferrari. Before that, his last opportunity for Ferrari came in Texas in Tier 2 in Season 9. But now he's rounding the penultimate corner and now the final corner. Number 21 on his car. Will he be in the 21s? No, but he'll be in the 23s. Fair play to Invade, having some decent pace. I've watched him in that RSF1 league. He's had lots of pace. and sometimes doesn't always get the results, but shown a lot more pace than RPL from what we can tell. And hopefully, this is a chance to show it in Ferrari tonight. Two-time Abu Dhabi F1 winner Jack Miles is on a lap for McLaren now. He has a victory in Formula Endurance coming in Texas. JTK goes fastest. He's the first to crack the 21s. But Jack Miles has that one victory in FE. He has the 2 victories here in Abu Dhabi Tier 1. And he has 1 pole position to add to his name there as well. He almost had pole position in that same race he won in Season 9, but didn't do it. All of his F1 Tier 1 wins come under the lights. He has 3 of them. And now he's looking to get a win tonight to secure 2nd place in the championship, which he can do. McLaren are in this big fight with Red Bull for the constructors table, which needs to be mentioned. 52-8 through the middle sector for Jack Miles. Lots of places now with this reprofiled area and areas where you can invalidate around the circuit, so you have to be very, very careful on how you maximize the track limits. You got to stay in bounds, and Jack Miles doing that right now. This is a very tricky section on traction, let alone on the rear tires. And now Jack Miles rounds the penultimate corner, and he enters the final corner. Trying to keep it on track. Jack Miles, no wiggles, no issues there. 22-4, just behind JTK. But this is where McLaren need to keep himself in comparison to Red Bull in order to keep the fight alive for the Constructors' Championship. Evening Invade. Valkyrie F1 is on a lap now for AlphaTauri on loan. Let's see how she does for the AlphaTauri team, which has had 2 podiums here in Tier 1 before. 53-3 in the 2nd sector. And now Valk has 3 F2 wins to her name. And also has a Tier 2 podium to her name in Spain. But of those F2 wins, you got Zandvoort, you got Mexico, and I think there was 1 more, but all those wins that she's had, as far as I'm aware, come in day races. Valk across the line, 23-7. That's not a bad lap at all from her. But obviously she'll be looking to improve. We've got NRM KVS for Haas now. We'll ride on board through Sector 2 and keep it silent. NRM KVS, not a bad Sector 2 at all, but he enters Sector 3 right now, and that sweeping parabolica type of section right there is going to be very interesting when drivers race wheel to wheel. Do you go with the inside line? Do you go with the outside line? And this section is really going to be single file the entire time, but you set yourself up really well for a switchback and race very, very tough into the final corner, which NRM KVS is approaching now. A first win a couple weeks ago in RPL. He'll cross the line and go 3rd fastest. He is looking almighty in that Haas and getting up to speed with it. Speaking of up to speed, we've got Onik Morin getting up to speed and fast in Sector 2. Triple rights right there. He comes through now. The left-hand corner. This section just very, very twisty, very different compared to before. But Owen will set a lap now, and we'll find out where this places him on our timing charts. 13 drivers with a lap in. Owen makes it 14, and he goes 6th fastest behind teammate Joshua. Joshuashi, as Owen would say from previous Tier 2 streams. Wavy Knife. How about this guy? He had a clean Tier 1 race yesterday. That's been very rare to say from him recently, but he actually did very well in that Williams. And now, in Tier 2... he's been racking up some decent things for Aston Martin. It's not always been the results. He collided with teammate Valk. But the fact of the matter with Wavy is that he had a fastest lap for that team. And they've been terrible this season in Tier 2. But he has reprofiled things with Josh. Got them podiums in Tier 1 now. A consistent podium contender with Owen. And Cam, a part of the team, who should be getting podiums soon here. He's got some good results finally. But Wavy, with this car that he's comfortable with, we're going to find out what Sector 3 looks like. We'll go silent. 53-1. We'll ride on board with him. Wavy a little wiggle in that final couple of corners, but actually a decent lap because he's ahead of RPL Zakaria and ahead of Owen. But Owen went for a second lap there and improved on the second lap and got ahead of Josh right there. Interesting from Owen, but now Hunted looks to be out of fuel. Hunted, in fact, I think can actually improve on this lap being out of fuel, funny enough. Look at this, 11 seconds up. See who's on a lap or starting one. Zakaria invalidated. Centrix is not on a lap, I don't think. Since no one's on a lap, what's GSR Virid? Because I think he's on a lap, I believe. And he invalidated. Next across the line for a lap. Is that Jack Miles or is that Hunted? Hunted pits. We've got more cars crossing the line to start a lap or finish one. Shanghai improves in the lap time, but not by a whole lot. Watch Kipu. Oh, by the way, I spoke about Wavy and that Williams yesterday. Kipu and the Williams today. Racing for Wavy's team. Had a nice battle with Wavy yesterday. Very clean, by the way, at this back of the grid. Area in Tier 1. And Kipu had a really good result. You know, I think this was a while ago where Jack Miles was thinking of not allowing or mentioning not allowing drivers to race Tier 1 because of them being just so slow or issues on the circuit. And it is fair to say that Kipu has been an issue for Tier 1 on the circuit. Look at a race like Azerbaijan for him. That's what got that conversation going. And with that being said, he actually had a really good race for AlphaTauri yesterday. It seems like when Kipu's in a top car, he ends up having a really poor race like he's been having for Red Bull when he's made those appearances. But when he's raced for AlphaTauri, he's actually done really well. He was just shy of the points yesterday. He had a good result in Portimao, and a lot of 11th place finishes here in Formula Endurance recently for AlphaTauri that have really had team principals on the eye of him, thinking here, if we loan him, we're going to keep him in one of those bottom cars because he does well there, but he just can't do well in a top car. And he does deserve a lot of credit because he actually scored AlphaTauri's first points of the season. He's got traffic in front of him, but that does not matter. He still improves in the lap time to go to the top 10. Let's see who's on a lap. How about the Chiller? Two-time Abu Dhabi pole sitter here. Coming through now. Let's find out where this is going to be for him. Yellow flags. That's in Sector 1. That's his teammate. But the Chiller crosses the line to go 7th fastest. Nice lap from the Chiller. He needed that to happen. Josh crossing the line now. 2.5 tenths up. Can he go to the top 2? Yes, he can. Fastest in the final sector. But no one seems to be knocking JTK off the top of the board. Jack Miles is the next one to try and do that. He is improving in the second sector. And right now, if he completes this lap, he's going to go front row. That battery already deployed below 35%. Jack Miles, final 2 corners. He's approaching now and navigating his way through. The final corner is all his now too. Jack Miles crossing the line now to go front row and improve the lap time, but just shy of JTK there by 3.5 tenths. That's a lot, actually. RPL Zakaria starts a lap, I believe. We'll watch this, and I'll go quiet through Sector 1. $83,000 down. DRS applied now from Zakaria. 5th gear, 6th gear, and he continues to go up the gears. He is pedal to the metal right here through this area, and he heads to the chicane now. And sector split coming up his way in just a couple moments' time. We only have a couple minutes remaining left in this session, but it is crunch time for these drivers to get laps in. Zakaria is improving by 1.5 tenths, but only would be good enough to just stay in the top 10 for right now. Would not pick off wavy knife. He has to find time in the last sector in order to do that. Josh, by the way, ahead of KVS. Owen right behind. Zakaria coming through the last sector now. And the last couple corners. Turn 16 is his now to come through and try to better his lap time. He will. He's ahead of the teammate at least, so that's a good sight. You always want to beat your teammate here in RPL, and he has done just that. We're going to go on board with 4th place runner NRM KVS, the surprise of the session for sure, no doubt about it. Where is this Sector 1 split looking like? It is 16 thousandths down, but it all can be found in the 2nd sector here from this Haas. Let's find out what he's got in store here. Josh is retired from the session. That is in the pit lane, not a retirement on track, luckily. But NRM KVS completing the sector now. What's it going to be? 59,000 subs, so it's purple in the 2nd sector, but the concern for KVS, though, is will he be remaining in 4th place even if he improves? Because there's other drivers hungry for lap time behind that. You've got Invade. You've got Owen McMorrin, the Tier 2 champion. You've got Cintrix for Red Bull, who's yet to come out on track. You've got Hunted, who's out on a lap right now. Other drivers who are going to be improving, surely. But now, NRM KVS for Haas, the nice surprise of this session, will continue to go faster, and he improved that lap time by 2 tenths, and he's only 5.5 tenths off the top of the board. RPL Zakaria retired from the session. Is that a retirement on track there or not? That's what I wonder. Lots of drivers on outlaps, but right now, Hunted, improving, and let's find out where this McLaren will go, because McLaren has a race in the constructors table that they have to be competitive with Red Bull, and they have to do it in qualifying. The Red Bulls 1-8, the McLarens 2-16. Hunted knows how to do good with pressure. He's done so in Tier 2 before, and now 3rd place in the board. That's what he needed. Massive lap time from Hunted. We got lots of drivers on outlaps and lots of drivers going for pole position. Owen McMorrin backed off and going for another one. Invades up by 42 thousandths. That's crucial for his lap time. Checker flag will be waving in about 37 seconds. But in the meantime, the Haas is going to give tons of draft to Invade's car for Ferrari. Look at the amount of slipstream that Invade is getting. That is from NRM KVS. And that is a big, big toe, ladies and gentlemen. That's going to help Invade a ton. Let's find out what the sector split is now as he's coming through. 3 tenths up. That slipstream helped massively. And if you're Invade right now, this is the tier that you're trying to prove to these team principals. I deserve a top seat in one of these cars. More often, you're choosing the wrong guys. When this stuff happens, he's just got to keep it on track right now, and he will be 3 tenths up and possibly ahead of Owen right here for the time being. Checker flag out. Cintrix only 9th. Invade crosses the line now, and Invade will be ahead of KVS and Owen. Invade, a crucial lap time for him. DeChiller is on a lap. Veered is on a lap. Veered, checker flag, not improving. Wavy, not improving. Valk is crossing the line, not improving either. But now we switch to Jack Miles, who will be trying to get pole position here soon, I believe. Hunted couldn't get any better, but 3rd place was probably his target. Darius completing the checker flag, slightly improving. Owen, front row. Jack Miles crosses the line now and cannot get pole position, but JTK crosses the line. He can improve, but for now, it's looking like a Red Bull pole position. Scyther on a lap right now for Alpine. We didn't even know about him being on track. He has ran out of fuel or backed off on the lap time. That will be it. JTK is going to be on pole position here in Abu Dhabi. A crucial one for Red Bull when they're trying to win the Constructors' Championship tonight. Scyther just doing donuts. And now driving backwards. And now disqualified. So there you have it. There is the qualifying session complete, ladies and gentlemen. Red Bull. See pole position here in Abu Dhabi. They've been used to that 2 times in Tier 1 and recently with the Chiller. But they see it with JTK, the Dutch driver. 21.9 was the time to beat. Owen, not close enough. Second place for him. The 2 Welsh drivers make up the second row, but for McLaren, that's what they needed because Red Bull have their drivers 1 and 9 while they have theirs in the same exact row. Josh rounds out the top 5. Invade a critical lap there to be 6th. NRM, KVS, and De Chiller, 2 Ferrari Academy teammates in the 4th row. Centrix and Zakaria running out the top 10. Drivers outside the top 10 that we need to watch in this race. Zatsy and Scyther. Big name drivers, big name cars there outside the top 10. The last sector was scrappy from Invade, he said. No worries with that. We've got 58 laps on board with us tonight. The strategy will likely be a 2-stop or 3-stop like it's usually been in Formula Endurance recently. But the penultimate round, where the constructors can be won tonight, we'll watch out if that happens or not. All right, chat, give us your final predictions here for the penultimate round. We've got Japan next week where Constructors' Championship still can be won, but likely can be today with JTK's pace or if McLaren have something go on. Oh dear, Centrix thought it was full qualifying. That's not the first time that's happened in Formula Endurance. It happened with Cam in Zandvoort, and Cam went on to win that race. For the penultimate time this season in Formula Endurance, the 5 lights are coming on. Race 10 is go! Pedal to the metal, and JTK gets a decent start, able to cover off Owen. Now, further on back, 3 wide, Invade taking advantage and about to push off Hunted off track, and now Josh takes advantage. Josh down the inside, he threw. Now, further on back, about 2 and 3 wide throughout the pack. A couple cars going wide, yellow flags further on back, that's veered around, but now Centrix trying to pick off KVS, and the Alfa Romeo of the Chiller. 4 wide into the hairpin. Wow. Who was that going 4 wide? I think that was Zakaria. Very risky move from him. Josh tries to get Hunted, and further on back, they are all squirming around near the De Chiller area in 7th place. Oh, contact. Josh has been spun around. He's got a tap from De Chiller and Zakaria both, I believe. Now NRM, KVS, and Centrix racing wheel to wheel. Yellow flag still out. But massive DRS battle here. Once the DRS will be able for what is 6th place. Invade getting passed by Hunted. Just tons of action here. And once DRS gets enabled, it'll continue. Centrix losing the rear, a little snap from him. Zakaria getting ahead of De Chiller, and De Chiller still sticking his nose in there. Side-by-side race into the final sector here. Centrix off the road, comes back on. Side-by-side with KVS. KVS gets a spot, and now Zakaria holding off De Chiller. Nice start from Zakaria. Let's see the places gained. 4. Scyther's gained 8. Valk side-by-side with Wavy. 2 teammates who collided in Tier 2 goes side-by-side on lone Valk is. Zatsy gets 4 places, but the big loser being Kipu and Josh. 8 places for Scyther, 4 for Zatsy, 4 for Zakaria. Oh, yellow flags! That's Shanghai in trouble. Zatsy picks off Valk for position. In front of that, we got Hunted and Invade racing wheel to wheel here to the chicane. And Jet Chiller is still on Zakaria's rear gearbox here. The battery will be crucial for these drivers to use right here, and I think the Chiller wants to make his move now. He's around the outside and now using that battery for just a split second. Zakaria just squeezing him onto the curb right there. Behind that, Zatsy and Wavy race side by side. Josh and Mythic, just tons of battling. And now, big crash for Wavy. Wavy slid into the wall, and now he's into the other wall. And he's stopped right there. And absolutely disappointed with that. He's down to last. Wavy Knife just splitting his car into some tears right there after that incident. He had a really good run going and had a decent start, had some battles, had some good hope, but that will come crashing down for him. And now the Chiller, will he pick off Zakaria here at the place where Max Verstappen won the championship? The Chiller down the inside. And a little bit argy-bargy contact on the corner exit, but now for the race lead, Owen McMorran wants it. JTK protects it. Here comes Zakaria once again with the Chiller. There's a 4-car scrap going on here, and NRM KVS is just waiting in the background to pounce while these two just duel it out here for 6th place. This is the battle of midfield cars while Centric starts to pick off his time to get up the grid. And now here comes the Chiller. Zakaria on the Chiller. Excuse me. The Chiller gets the move done. Zatsy also on Centrix, and now Zatsy on Scyther, who also got Centrix in the process, side by side between them. Zatsy has the inside line, Scyther on the outside, and Scyther getting some taps from Centrix, and Centrix has to hop onto the curb, and he can't go through, but he had a lot of issues there trying to pass Scyther. Lots of contact, and he's now outside the points. This is not what Red Bull need if they want to win the title tonight. And still for the lead, DRS here on lap number 4 of this race. An actual interesting race here at the start of Formula Endurance in Abu Dhabi, which is a bit of a shock here in race number 10. Yeah, I mean, just battles throughout the field. That's all you can really ask for at this current moment. We got 3rd and 4th place made up from the McLarens. Mercedes not doing what they need to do if they want to win the... if they want to stay in contention for the constructors. Ferrari doing a little bit more than them. That might be the battle for 3rd in the meantime, but yeah, nothing really made from it in terms of constructors fights. But now Zatsy gets KVS. The Chiller also on the back of Zakaria and looking to make the move. And now he's shoving him. And Zatsy went way too deep in the process and actually got both them. I don't know how. But this has turned into a battle from 6th to 13th here. It's just absolutely insane. Up in front of that, Hunted and Invade goes side by side. Hunted gonna dive it down the inside and protect the place with ease, while Invade tries to switch it back, and still more racing. 2x2 back here. 6 cars under a blanket and separated by about 6/10, while Zatsy has the inside line. Dutch drivers racing side by side, and now Scyther down the inside of the Chiller. 2X teammates gonna go wheel to wheel. How about wheel to wheel? 2x2 here. Many rows deep in this area. And now, that was the Chiller losing the rear, but that's not usually a race, a spot to race side by side. And now Zakaria down the inside. Wow. The racing here in the midfield, absolutely insane. And now NRM KVS down the inside of the Chiller at turn number 1. Cindrix on Valk. Now for the lead, JTK has Owen dived on him and contact. Owen will take the lead of the race, but I think he wants to give it back, and he does, alluding to Jack Miles taking that top spot. I mean, this is just insane right now. It's back and forth all over. Invade has Hunted. Zatsy has Zakaria. It's all kicking off. Invade on the inside line. I think Hunted has to concede the place, but now Scyther about to pick off 2 cars. getting the upper edge on the outside line, but didn't look like it was going to be for long. Hunted staying behind, but Scyther doesn't want to do that. 3 wide into Sector 3. Scyther pinching Zakaria now. Scyther having him using the curb now. Zakaria edging out ahead. But now Scyther wants to have a cut back on the inside line. And these cars all the way to 13th. Just an accordion effect right here with the way it is. If one makes a mistake in front, it's going to affect all of them. As the racing gets better, the viewership gets better. You guys don't want to miss this at all. 8 different people tuning into action on lap number 6 of this race. And just a reminder, if you're wanting to tune into RPL, follow our Twitch, follow our YouTube, same name. And now Hunted wants to have his name known for a top 4 spot. Invade is actually having a really good run here, and this is actually critical for him and much needed. But now much needed for Centrix to go around the outside of DeChiller, trying to pick off the pieces here for Red Bull to gain those spots back. Much needed for the constructors. Hunted getting the overtake done on Invade. And now Scyther has a look on the outside line to make the move in Zakaria. He's done that. Josh DeChiller, Centrix, a 3-car battle here further on back in the train. Josh down the inside. Further up in front of that, Zakaria and Zatsi. Owen on JTK. And now it's still not done. It is still not done. Valk and Centrix further on back. Centrix is losing a ton of places. And now Zatsi, also one who could have his name involved in that too. But Zakaria is not giving up the fight. Zakaria has Zatsi making a nice little switch back here. But can Zatsi hold it? Wow, he really gave Zakaria a squeeze right there. And Valkyrie and the Chiller race wheel to wheel. A little bit of coming together here in the couple corners that remain before they reach lap 7. It's still not done. The side-by-side action is still not over. DeChiller ahead. Wow. I mean, this has been amazing racing so far. This is all you could hope for in a Formula Endurance race. This does not make it boring whatsoever. These drivers putting on a show. And turn 1, Centrix had a look on the outside line of Academy teammate for the night, Valkyrie. I would say if the action keeps up as it is right now, best Formula Endurance race of the season, barring Britain. I think that's the only one that can be said that's better. But now we have a scrap for the lead. Jack Miles has it. Owen wants it. And now Invade can't get Hunted, so we switch to the battle for 6th. Now for the lead. For the lead. We're sorry to miss it. Jack Miles racing alongside Owen for the number 1 spot. Jack Miles on the outside line has Owen prevailing on the inside line. Zatsi got Scyther, but there's so much action going on right now. It's unbelievable. And Jack is still keeping Owen on his toes because he tried the switchback right there and couldn't do it. Now with this battling though in this train further on back, 11th place, they've lost out to Josh, and Centrix may have had contact with DeChiller because he's been around. Oh, and he re-enters right near Mythic. This now creates a 3-car battle back here in the process, interestingly enough. We're going to go back to the race lead, though, for the time being. Owen trying to protect Jack. Noticed it. JTK waiting in the wings now for Red Bull. And Jack Miles trying to dice it up with Owen. He has DRS. And he will have the inside line. Owen squeezed, but couldn't squeeze enough with that McLaren straight line speed and also having the DRS. I believe Hunted got Invade. But Jack Miles, used to this site in Abu Dhabi, leading a race. Centrix and Valkyrie trading spots there. But now Owen has go number 2 on this lap at it. Down the inside and through. Jack Miles couldn't defend it, but now Invade very wide there. It's a very tricky section to follow a car through this area because you don't want to tap him and spin him around. It's a little bit easier with this reconfigured area, but yeah, very interesting there. Mythic, Shanghai to Chiller, cars outside the points, duking it out. And I think Mythic will hold on for now. He will. Very neat there. Jack Miles still in DRS of JTK, or sorry, of Owen with JTK there. But GSR veered on lap number 9, becomes the first driver to pick up a track limit penalty. I mean, we still got battling all over, and I think the back of that train has finally caught back up where Centrix and Valkyrie were. I mean, they kind of needed that after falling back earlier on, just a couple laps ago. They were losing out after they're battling in the back of the field. But now we've got Jack Miles in DRS pursuit of Owen. And now the question becomes, does he go for it? We've got battling further on back for 6, but now the race lead is just more important for a second. They're not making a move, so we'll switch to 6th place, where Scyther for Alpine from the back of the grid is making these moves. And the FE champion is through on Zatsy, the first ever pole sitter in RPL F1. NRM KVS also looking to get Zakaria as well. Zakaria never had a tier 1 podium. NRM KVS recently had one. Shanghai and Mythic race it side by side. The good thing about these guys, though, too, is that, you know, oh, RG Bargy, oh no. Mythic held on. I was just going to say the good thing about those guys back there is, you know, although there's 6 viewers, there are people who watch back these races, whether you're a team principal, a co-team principal, whatever it may be, and they watch these guys like Mythic and Shanghai who don't have the best pace in RPL, and they realize that themselves probably, but team principals look out for that, because if they ever lose a seat or lose a spot, someone will surely pick them up. And speaking of picking up things, Jack Miles about to pick up the race lead once again. He has swapped this multiple times with Owen, but this time on lap number 10, Jack Miles in front. But did he go too deep into the corner? No, he just had a lot more breathing room to brake later. NRM KVS racing side by side with Zakaria. Zatsy racing side by side with Scyther. Josh racing side by side with Centrix. It's 2x2, 3 rows deep. And usually in that area, you think a collision is inevitable, but Owen couldn't get the race lead there from Jack, so now he switched back to Scyther, making the move on Zatsy. He's got the pass done here for 6th place. He's keeping it interesting. So is NRM KVS having the outside line here, and Zakaria giving a major squeeze there. I don't think NRM KVS would have been squeezed by Zakaria like that. That was a little all out. But on the limit, we give Zakaria credit, you know, with that. We like to see wheel-to-wheel racing that is on the edge. I will say this battling, though, it does make the race more enjoyable and more worth the watch. Last week was not worth the watch in Qatar. Really boring race. Brazil could be said the same there as well, with a penalty going to Shanghai now. The thing about that race in Brazil is there was the first 20 laps, which was really good, and then the last 10 laps, which was really good. But right now, it's getting good again for the race lead. Owen gets it back. And again, collision. Zakaria, Josh, the ones collected. NRM KVS is now in a fierce battle with Centrix. He's going to go around the outside, but for the race lead, we got Jack Miles back at it. Does he go for it? No. I mean, it's hard to keep the camera going here when we have constant battles, because now you got Invade as well, who is keeping Hunted for company right here for 4th place. And Invade actually, you know, deserves a lot of credit here, being the highest Ferrari. I know Zatsy started back there, but with that being said, highest Ferrari Academy car of anybody. NRM KVS started up there, could have easily picked him off. And Ferrari don't really have the best car around the circuit, to say the least. It does help a little bit with Sector 3, but, you know, Invade needs this to happen. Needs a top 5 run for Ferrari, not only for the constructor's sake, but for his own sake, to prove he deserves more chances in a top car, because that race in Mercedes in Brazil in the finale, the one where Hunted won the Tier 2 championship, that was not good. Zatsy locks it up going into the pit lane, becoming our first one in the top 10 area to blink first. We're now going to remain quiet for just a moment. We're going to ride on board with Jack and watch from 5/10 back. How does he make the move, if he does, on Owen? You saw he backed off there, and I think he was saving battery, but Invade is not. He's going to go down the inside. And he completes this overtake on Hunted LAX. Centric on NRM KVS gets the move done there, and now for the lead, Jack Miles is just pressurizing Owen. Hunted gets the move done on Invade, threatening him once again. Constant DRS swapping, but you know what? We've had more battles with that, though, in areas that are not involving a little bit of the rear wing being open. Kipu and Zatsi traded spots there. Zatsi made a pit stop. Kipu has not. Kipu gets a 3-second time penalty for going out of bounds, exceeding track limits. And now Jack Miles turning off the DRS, it looked like, for a second there to back off and conserve more battery. But Invade is not playing the conservative game here with Hunted. He's just continuing to play DRS mind games here. And by the way, JTK has lost DRS to this top two. And why is this important? Well, constructor's sakes. The race, whatever it may be. We still have a race for 4th place, though. Hunted and Invade swap it around once again. And I think it's actually better that they're playing DRS games, though, on these straights and playing it very carefully here, because they can gain time on JTK by doing that, surprisingly, as Josh gets Zakaria. Valk is still not pitted yet in front of them two. But side by side here, Zakaria inside line prevailing. And now Jack Miles is still on the back of Owen. And Owen's weaving right there, I think. I don't know if he meant to do that, but that was funny. And Jack Miles and Owen in an unusual place to race side by side. They do it, but that costs them time. 8/10 to JTK. I didn't really catch all that. I was just on my phone for a second. But I think Owen is having a little lag spike here. Jack Miles has saved more battery. So is Owen. Both playing the long game. And now Jack Miles turns on the jets for just a moment. And Owen almost swipes him. And now Owen, oh, a little bit of a dummy down the inside. Hopping the curb, but that's not going to matter because Jack Miles hangs on. Ooh. Owen had a little go there. And now we're going to find out down this straight while Owen uses his battery. Can Jack Miles keep him at bay? No. Owen around the outside line now. Going to take the lead of the race in lap 14 and going to play the defensive game again. So he was playing very nice with Jack Miles, but not anymore. And a 3-car squawkaroo here for 9th place. Zakaria getting ahead. Josh getting ahead of Valk. And now this is just absolute melee here. Valk getting both. Whoa. That AlphaTauri is not the fastest car at all, but, you know, Josh just losing time riding that curb. But I will say, by Valk getting both them, impressive. Needs to make more moves like that more often. Centric's picking up a track limit penalty, and so does Josh. No surprise there, considering he was just all over the track limits. Yellow flag. Shanghai has crashed out of this race, and the safety car is out. The first safety car has come out for Shanghai in the Williams, making it 5 of the last 6 races for that team with a DNF. And the first retiree of this race. So now this halts the race, and you get to give some predictions if you want to do so, or say your thoughts in chat on the race. But Zakaria says he's got taken out by his co-TP. Well, bad blood there from the Merc Academy. Not what we want to see. But does Owen pull the trigger or Jack? I'm sure JTK will on those soft tires. He surely needs to with how much wear they've got probably. And you have to be careful here because you can get a track limit warning for the way you enter the pit lane here at the circuit. We're going to watch how everyone enters it. Make sure to do it cleanly. And Valk actually is a victim of that. She got a 3-second penalty while entering the pit lane. Josh staying out, the first one of those guys to stay out, but he recently just pitted, I believe. So, reasonably so that he stays out. But I'm sure Valkyrie will be trying to get that track limit warning appealed and that 3-second removed if she gets no other penalties or warnings. So, safety car 16 laps into this race. We're going to find out what happens then. No one else pitting for the time being. But, yep, we got 17 runners left in this race after that retirement. We're going to find out of the 17 runners who will have balls of steel to win this race. Lots to happen still. But Owen McMorran has won a Tier 2 race. He's won a Tier 1 race. He's won an F2 race, but he has not won in Formula Endurance. And he's trying to add himself to that illustrious list of drivers who have won an F2, Tier 2, F1. And add Jack Miles in that list of drivers who won an F1.5 as well, before Tier 2. So, very interesting indeed what Owen is trying to do here today. And he actually has a chance to get Mercedes' first win in this tier. You know, he shows what he can do in Aston Martin. You give him the car and Mercedes, and you see what he can do already from Tier 2, and you transfer it to FE, a tier with other drivers in competitive cars. And we've got a race on our hands. JTK is back in this fight. Invade is up there and had been battling Hunted. Scyther's for Alpine. Cindrix has that penalty for Red Bull, but is much more closer compared to prior. It needs to be anyways. And I think Owen just had a little malfunction there. He was an AI, and I think AI hit the safety car. All right, so safety car could be in at the end of this lap, depending on where they're at by Sector 3. Let's give you a look at the fastest laps from these guys so far this race. See, slowest of them all is GSR Veered, but he's keeping it in this race. 28.8 from Kipu. Other guys in the 28s, but not as slow as Kipu's been as well. We'll see if it's called as a late one then. And we'll get one more lap before the safety car comes in, which I would say is quite nice. we get to talk about a lot of things. The winners from this weekend thus far in Tier 2, HSR Gecko for Ferrari, a second career win in Tier 2 for him. Tier 1 saw Cookie win yesterday, but not by a big margin. Cookie actually had some competition there. Cookie also had a track limit penalty, but he won the race at Red Bull. We'll see if 3 different teams win this weekend. Next week, we go to Vegas for Tier 2, a 3-way constructors fight, and still a battle for second remains with Gecko and Bonky. And F1, Tier 1, we're in Hungary. And that will be 35 laps around that circuit while Cookie tries to go for a another pole position, another win. And next week for Formula Endurance, the finale, we're in Japan. So this shall be interesting. Still with this fight right now with Red Bull and McLaren. I mean, McLaren are actually going to gain some points at this current moment and make it a real constructors fight into Japan. We'll find out if that ends up being the case by the end of this race, but everyone's covered the safety car. It's just a matter of the safety car approaching Sector 3, and then we'll get going again. So the safety car will be in this lap and approaching the pit lane now. We have 18 laps about to be complete. And we will be getting halfway soon in this race, actually, which is probably a good sight based on the way this action has been thus far. Like we mentioned, Owen, the race leader. We're going to find out what happens from him. He maintains control of this race. And yeah. When does he go? Pedal to the metal once again. And just waiting to the final corner. Wow, he is really backed the field up. And he goes at the start-finish line, but that's going to catch so many people off guard. Look at the amount of action happening back in the pack in midfield because of this. Oh, contact. Hunted punted Invade, and Hunted became the one who was punting. But now 3 wide. Oh, boy. Wow. I don't know how they made it out of that corner alive right there. But they were absolutely messing about. And JTK is going around the outside of Jack Miles now. Whoa! Hunted does become the punted. He's around. Scyther, Valk, big race. JTK gets Jack Miles. Let's continue watching the action. This is absolutely just on it right here. Scyther and Cintrix midfield as well. Continuing. Oh my God. About 10 cars under a blanket right here. Just absolutely all over. 3 wide. 3 abreast still continuing. Cintrix, Scyther, and KVS. Scyther ducks in behind. And just rides the gearbox, giving him a little bit of taps. Contact! Oh boy. Scyther banging wheels again. Spinner, that is Zatsy. He's lost his entire front wing. The safety car is out again. But that was an absolutely chaotic restart. Wow. Oh my. Does anybody head to the pit lane in the process? Oh, and thought about it? Valk is in. Zatsy surely in, though. He has that front wing damage. That's going to be hard to control. Yeah, the second safety car comes out after that. Hopefully it's no glitch. But, yeah. That's wing coming off. Triggered the safety car to come out for the second time. Hunted not too happy, and that's going to affect McLaren's race because of the constructors' fight. This is definitely a different sight compared to what we've been seeing in Formula Endurance recently, with the fact that we've had safety car free races recently, but now it's safety car galore. Safety car still remaining out because Zatsy and Valkyrie are not caught back up to the back. Cars yet to pit in this race. Only one is veered. And Wavy comes in for Aston Martin. At least if Wavy's not going to lead the race, he'll allow the Aston Martin safety car to do so. And Valk has got a 5-second time penalty for hitting the back of Hunted. Veered is finally in. Everybody's pitted. This gives me a good time to update the F1 stats that have not been updated. So we'll do that. And L74G's joining the action with us. And even though there were other cars pitting, I do expect the safety car to come in, I think, at the end of this lap based on the way we've been seeing things, and it does. Alrighty then. So let's do this one more time again with the restart about to be underway. Let's find out what happens with Owen controlling the pace once again. We already saw where he went, so let's find out if he does so again. So Owen, is he going to play a little bit of tomfoolery and trick the field once again, or is he going to do something else? He's on the gas this time earlier than he was before. Did that catch JTK by surprise? We'll find out. But now, to green flag racing we are once again. Hunted and Kipu trading spots further on back. That is a Hunt picking up a 3-second time penalty and actually coming into the pits. He might have rear wing damage from the incident with Valk, or front wing damage because of the contact. And that'll be something we watch out for. And yellow flags further and back. That's just guys trading spots throughout the field. But here we go. Scyther with Centrix. Josh with Zakaria. More importantly, Scyther going to have a look but can't do anything from it. And further on back, Wavy races with Valk. Oh, 3 wide for a second. Wavy going a little deep on the brakes. Zatsy's making contact with him. We got Valk as well in on the action. Oh! Contact! Zatsy facing the barrier now. The Chiller now picks up a 3-second penalty for track limits. And that is fastest lap from our race leader. He ran a really fast lap on that restart. That was Owen McMorrin Further on back, NRM, KVS, and Veer trading the spots at the back of the field. Ferrari Academy seeing some more swapping. But here we go. Still third place continuing. Invade has it. Jack Miles wants it back. He fell back on the restart. So Valk hit Hunted because she left AI. So that would make sense. But Invade passed by Jack on that straight. Oh, someone made contact right there. I saw that. That was close. Wavy and Kipu trade the spots there. They had a battle yesterday, and now today they continue it. JTK and Owen. Red Bull straight line speed gonna assist him, surely. And yeah, everyone's single file up till 10th, where this is a very big battle. Wavy in the inside of Mythic. Kipu is there as well to get in on the action and dice it up. And Wavy gets 10th place over Mythic. Mythic desperately needs points in RPL. I mean, he's not had any in Tier 2 in a long while. It's been about 20 races, about 1 point in 20 races, I should say. And it would be nice for him to get 1 or 2 here for Haas tonight. You know, it's not just the Constructors lead that's a battle, but Haas are battling with Williams not to finish. They also have AlphaTauri in that battle, and GSR Veered picks up a track limit penalty again. I did miss your overtake, I think. And Zatsy's retired from the session, and that's on track, meaning a safety car is out for the 3rd time. Man. Well, this race gets halted once again. Oh, man. Let's find out if anyone pits. I know no one probably will because they already pitted recently, but yeah, safety car out once again. This is definitely getting a little frustrating, but second retirement of the race, and Ferrari have had a DNF for the last 7 races in a row. Their chance of winning the Constructors' Championship has been eliminated. It's now down to 3 teams. Well, pitting, Jack Miles, Scyther, Wavy, Mythic, Kipu, maybe more. I said maybe. And Valk's AI is trying to kill Kipu, apparently, from what she said. Yeah, don't go in AI, Valka. That's been troubling for you. Stain T has 4 podiums at Austria. Sorry, folks, I'm just updating some statistics for you all. Podiums by different circuits. Let's go. Okay. Yep, safety car out again, and I think the other cars behind that are going to be catching up to the pack to where the safety car could call it late, but I don't think it will. That safety car is speeding up, so I'm a little concerned if it's going to call it late here. But it's not. Oh, and again, just pulling a little bit of a dummy there about pitting. Alrighty. So we'll get one more lap. And just a reminder, we're in Vegas next week for Tier 2 for a season finale for them. Constructors fight still on. We've got more than that too. F1 in Hungary. And Formula Endurance finale is next week too. And the safety car is coming in. Let's get racing back underway. Owen has been in this position before, 3 times in fact to be exact. Let's see how he handles it this time. When does the Irish driver go? He's already showed when he's going to go once. He's already showed when he's going to go twice. Now he's on the gas before that, allowing the safety car to go to the pits and green flag racing back out. Little mistake in the final corner there from Centrix. You saw going under the curb there, riding it a little too much. Scyther on fresh softs, Wavy on fresh softs, others on mediums who are on fresher tires. Let's get back to battling. And Centrix already trying to pick off Invade around the outside. Invade is being swarmed up here. He's got a pack of cars behind him. Jack Miles on KVS. That's much needed as well. Jack Miles, one of those guys to pit too. Jack Miles got the place. Centrix gets the place on Invade. Neatly done there. Now, Invade going to charge back at it. You got Zakaria defending from the Chiller. And Zakaria almost hit someone there. Jack Miles got Valkyrie. Further on back, Kipu gets veered on the restart. Hunted behind veered now. Veered struggling. Invade not struggling, though, to try to get 3rd place back. He wants it, but he's going to play this safe and long game while the Chiller is trying to get Zakaria. And Wavy Knife picks up a penalty for track limits. And here's Zakaria to Chiller. Jack in a little 3-car battle here. 4 position. Jack Miles getting Zakaria. Scyther getting KVS. Scyther gets Valk. Neat little move there. And Jack Miles gets another one. It's the Chiller this time. We see moves further on back. Yes, we do. 3-car race right here. Oh, wanted. Little argy-bargy back and forth, and Scyther also getting another car. That's Zakaria this time. Where's the wins from pole stat? I'm trying to look at it from F1 Tier 1 here for something. Let's see. I'm trying to find it. Oh, there it is. Okay, perfect. I found it. And now Scyther trying to get ex-teammate to Chiller. 2 Tier 1 champions racing it out, and Scyther gets the move done. The Chiller easily contested that place, and I think as DRS will be enabled, we'll find out if JTK closes in on a race leader. We will give you a Constructors table update in a little bit, but now Jack Miles is going down the inside of Josh. Move complete for him. Nice little dive bomb move. Now JTK. DRS pursuit of Owen. Let's see what happens. Here he comes. JTK! Pull the dummy. And now to the outside line. Owen not going to give this up. He has the inside line for the corner. Here comes Owen on the outside line getting pinched, but not going to give it up. And Owen is the one with DRS now, but actually none of them got the DRS. So now it's down to the straight line speed. And here comes JTK. Cannot get the move done. Scyther gets the place on Josh. That's another 1 gain for him. And here comes Zakaria too. Oh! Wow, Valk and Wavy. That was close. I don't know how they didn't spin right there, either one of them, but my goodness. Jack Miles is another target. It's called RSF1 Invade for Ferrari. The X-Team Jack was a part of recently on the game cycle. And he's now going to race with Scyther, the Academy teammate. Are we going to sit 3 wide? How do they split Invade? Jack Miles tries to box Scyther in, but he absolutely shoves Invade out. And Scyther gets him too. But now what does Scyther do with the Alpine straight line speed in comparison to the McLaren? How do they race this one out? How about 2 cars about to go 2 by 2 here? Nope, almost 3 wide for a second. Scyther getting ahead, Jack Miles getting ahead, and now Invade racing side by side with Josh. Josh going ahead. Scyther trying to go ahead of Centrix. He does that too. Purple through Sector 2, so Scyther going quite fast. Timing it to perfection to say the least, but here is the Chiller and Zakaria. Still remaining side by side. Pinching. Still more pinching. The Chiller gets shoved out wide and hits Zakaria. And now he gets put in an Aston sandwich while both of them get him. And now it's a 5-6 car race here in the last sector. Oh, contact. I think Hunted punted Valk. And these two have history before, so watch for them. Jack Miles gets Centrix. That's for 3rd. Centrix losing the rear, it looked like, for a split second. Wavy gets Zakaria. And now the Chiller trying to get what is going to be Zakaria and Wavy. The Chiller down the inside. He showed his car going down the inside quite early, and he absolutely shoves Zakaria. Zakaria going out wide and trying not to break the DRS board, but now it's still just constant weaving, bobbing, and jockeying for position. How about this? 3 wide. I think Zakaria was not happy with the Chiller and vice versa, but now they're 4 wide. Valk goes off the track, comes back on, comes out ahead, and now they're still not done. Contact! The Chiller into the wall. NRM KVS got a piece of that too. And Wavy and Hunted. Oh, Hunted around the outside and prevailing ahead. Okay. I think it's Valk. We're past halfway in this race, but that does not mean the action is done yet, because Zakaria has been overtaken by 2 cars. And Zakaria retires in the pit lane. Not too happy there. That will be it from him. But now we have a DRS battle for the race lead, and it is not just 1 or 2 cars. It is 4 of them. And here comes JTK. Gonna go down the inside. Enter MKVS out of this race in the pit lane. But here comes JTK on the inside line, trying to go for a switcheroo. Had the chance to do so. But now Owen tried to back him up, and JTK almost swiped with him there. And here comes Scyther. 3 abreast for just a split second. Scyther backed out of it, but here comes JTK around the outside line. He'll take the top spot. He'll reclaim it. While Scyther tries to get Owen. Now Owen trying to reclaim it once again. More yellow flags in the first sector, but Scyther down the inside. Muscling it with Owen. This is not a place to race side by side, folks. You're going to lose time. Jack Miles notices it too, and he wants in on the action. Scyther trying a switcheroo here. If he can pull this off, that'd be pretty neat, but he can't. You guys are actually crazy. Those are the words coming from Zakaria out of this race. 4 retirements. Well, I can't say I disagree a whole lot, if I'm being honest. It was clean, and then it wasn't so fun for people like Zakaria. Well, if things have calmed down, we'll get a constructors update in just a moment. Well, Josh and Cintric close. Onto the wavy close, but much more closer up front now. Jack Miles trying to pick off Scyther, the Academy teammate, but does Owen try to do that on our race leader? No. Josh and Cintrix now 5th place. This is a big battle brewing. Back and forth these guys have been with closing in on one another, but now the move is being made here and around the outside. Cintrix can't do it, but now we go to the race lead once again. Scyther now closing on Owen. Owen trying to defend with the battery being deployed. And Scyther down the inside, lunges, gets through. But Owen is not done. Owen still has his left front tire in there, but the Alpine straight line speed prevails. And he has DRS, Scyther does. Does he go for a late move on JTK? No, thinking about it though. Owen elects to go to the outside line here. Does Scyther turn in knowing Owen's alongside? No, Scyther plays it clean. And Jack Miles wants his piece of this too. He gets through on Owen. And now, this is a 4-car race to Sector 3. Oh, Invade getting a penalty. I thought that was Owen getting one for a second because he just dived down the inside. Just playing a little left to right switcheroo. And Jack Miles gets 2 places here. Neat from Jack Miles, but now he's trying to hang on over Scyther. And Jack Miles following our race leader here of JTK. He's got a chance to make some hay, but can JTK keep him at bay? JTK looks like he's struggling a little bit on those more worn mediums. He's got the same amount of tire wear that Owen does, and you see where Owen has now been planted. Jack Miles waiting. I'm surprised even with the Red Bull straight line speed, JTK did not pull any DRS chicken there, dummies. But now I think JTK realizes this is his time to get swarmed up. He ducks in behind Jack Miles as he makes the move for the race lead, and Jack Miles is back in the race lead for now. But does Scyther go for it and JTK still? Yes, he does. Jack Miles, though, ran a little deep. I don't know if that was defensive or not, but that may cost him. Scyther and JTK continue to battle it out, but now Scyther has the DRS this time in exchange for what was 3rd place now to the race lead. He's clawed his way up here. Josh on Cintrix gets the move done. To Chiller with a track limit penalty. There's now 5 drivers left in this race without one, and Scyther had a little wiggle. Jack Miles there to pounce. It's just NASCAR the way they're just racing for the lead. And now Scyther off track from the lead. He went wide and now got in the way of JTK and Owen, but a mistake. Very costly for race leader Scyther. Jack Miles retakes the top spot. Now I think Scyther's about to lose DRS because of that too, and that is not good for him at all. And he luckily held on to DRS there, but I don't know if he's going to be able to make any moves in this lap with that current state of the battery, let alone how far back he is. But Centrix goes through for 5th. Let's check the fastest lap quickly. Action has calmed down a little bit. Hold on. Centrix getting passed by Josh. Make it 8 points then instead of 10 for now for him. Hunted getting invade. So let's do the points then. Let's round everything up. Hunted gets past invade like I said, but barring the penalties, let's look at it. 7th place is 6 points. 25 for our race leader. So right now, McLaren would be closing the gap by less than 15 points on Red Bull there. They would have the lead. Red Bull would have the lead still, though. So, yeah, lots to look forward to for this constructors fight still. Still not done. Mercedes, I don't think they're in it still to win it with the result, but they're doing a good job holding on for 3rd place with Ferrari. Or actually regaining that 3rd place with Ferrari, excuse me, because of all that. So, yeah. I said earlier that it would need to be 2 cars for Ferrari to hold on for this constructors fight, but not going to be the case. Zatsy's out of this race, of course. 2 more cars, 2 Ferrari cars out. Centrix with a little DRS overtake. Invade now also getting hunted in the process. Oh, is that Wavy and Hunted making contact? Josh gets Centrix. Continue to watch here further back. And Hunted blasts past. Virid pits for softs. Could possibly be his final pit stop of the day. And Centrix pits for Red Bull. Also could be his final pit stop. I expect other guys to come in soon too. Invade is close, but not close enough to make the overtake. And now it looks like he is. Here he comes. Slingshotting past Hunted. Hunted not wanting to give it up, though. He does now. Wavy almost ran in the back of Hunted, so Hunted. Good thing he wasn't breaking any earlier there, because he would have been spun round. Mythic gets Centrix. And now Hunted back at Invade. Just constant battling here between these two. Invade not wanting to give it up either, I think. Interestingly, we should be watching when these leaders do pit. That's the lap car of Virid getting lapped. Surprised I didn't give DRS to anybody here, but if anybody was about to be out of DRS, well, you just got any hope by having that happen. We got some JTK fan club in the chat. Yay, he's third now, but fair play right there to JTK, keeping it clean today. A major switch from JTK when he went to PC. I've seen a major improvement from him, and I'm happy to see this, not only for the sake of the competition of RPL, but it's just quite cool. He needed this improvement. He was dropped from a full-time driver to a reserve in Red Bull Tier 2, but now he's making the most of it in all tiers. Centrix gets Valk. For the race lead is close. Scyther closing in. Oh boy. Pit stop loss around here 20 seconds, so keep that in mind whenever these guys pit. And we'll see if anyone does elect to go to the pit lane soon out of those guys, like Centrix, who did on those worn tires. And Invade is in. He's got a little less tire wear compared to Josh and Owen. And JTK too. Invade goes for the softs, no surprise there. Scyther, does he go for it? He's gonna save some battery, and he should be doing so because he only has a little bit less than Jack, really. So conserve that battery, Scyther. Owen, fourth place runner, has got a 3-second time penalty. We're now down to 4 runners without one, and Scyther blinks. He's in the pits, and he almost hit the pit wall, so he was really trying to maximize that. Second between our race leaders now, by the way. Find out what happens then. Centrix 3-second time penalty for his name too. Wavy came in too, but Scyther comes out right near Centrix and this Kipper battle. Scyther has DRS and Centrix. Their Red Bull straight line speed, though, will help him, but I don't think it's going to help him much longer. A little bit of a double move from Centrix, but here comes Scyther, staying in behind. And now coming past, Centrix's Scyther. He gets the move done. And Centrix right in the back of him, just giving him a couple nudges there. Pitting is Josh. Centrix gonna go down the inside at turn 1. Whoa! He's really making Scyther think. Josh comes out of the pit lane behind Scyther. Also behind Owen too. Scyther's got a long ways to Hunted. Valk as well, racing side by side out of the pit lane now with Josh. Interesting. And Centrix trying to get back by Scyther. Josh and Valk trying to do the same with one another. while this battling continues, I am going to take a quick bathroom break. So I'm all good for the end of this race. I'll continue watching this battle because this seems like Centrix is not done with Scyther yet. I am back. I'm gonna guess Owen pitted again. He's on the soft tires. I've not really been keeping up because I was just in the bathroom. Hunted and Kippu. Hunted and Wavy. Well, Hunted and Kippu pitted. Hunted and Wavy, though, trading positions. Trading blows. Obviously, the two race leaders are in now, so we've got a race on our hands for the win with just 14 laps remaining. Goofy ad race. Yeah. Maybe. Scyther now in DRS, pursuit of a race leader, Centrix. Let's figure out what happens here. For the Red Bulls, who can claim the title today, and with where Hunted's running, they have a better chance of doing it. But with Centrix penalty, puts him on the back foot. Scyther here in pursuit. And can Scyther take the lead for Alpine? Alpine have not won a race in Formula Endurance. So Scyther claims the top spot and is trying to achieve their first victory as a team. He's won already with Red Bull. He's won already with Ferrari, I believe. So let's see what he does. No, he's won with Red Bull only, excuse me. Red Bull twice from Scyther. Speaking of Red Bull, Scyther backs out, Centrix goes through. And hopefully this battling can cause the other three behind, Jack, Owen, and JTK, to catch back up. Sorry, Owen hadn't pitted yet. He didn't pit again, excuse me. My bad. My bad. It does seem like they are catching on Centrix and Scyther, because Scyther's on mediums, Centrix on more one softs. Owen fastest lap, 1.4 is the gap now with Owen to Scyther. This is going to be very similar to the finish of the Tier 1 race when Jack Miles won. This was Season 9 that I'm referring to, by the way. For you watching, if you're not following the RPL Twitch or YouTube, I really recommend you do so. Tons of action, and it's still not over. Does Scyther go for it? No. He is staying behind and continuing to save that battery because Centrix has none of it. Owen, 17%. Jack, 24%. JTK, 32%. So Scyther took advantage of that battery, saving a ton. And now he's got DRS. And does he go for the race lead on the outside line or the inside? No. But now Jack Miles and Owen have a drag race to Sector 3. Jack Miles getting ahead. This race has had its thrills, spills, and now we go through the hills of seeing whether or not Red Bull can pull off the victory, whether it be with JTK or Centrix. Who knows if he gets that 3-second removed, but a Constructors' title still can be won today, even with the current running order. Assuming Centrix appeals that penalty, and they are the way they are on track right now, I don't know if anything can be won, but, you know, it's close. Those penalties applied are going to make the difference, so we'll find out. I will probably add it up when this race ends. We'll give you a gap to leader moment for just a second while the top 5 are in DRS. If Alpine can win a race here in RPL, it would be the first time since F1 Season 8. But now Scyther wants to make some noise down the inside. And he's going to go for it for the race lead. And Centric's just riding all over the back of him. But Centric's relegated to the second place spot now and about to be third for him. Jack Miles making some noise too. And JTK getting in on the equation as well. Side by side here, wheel to wheel remaining. JTK has Owen making the switch back on the inside line now, and Owen gets tons of grip there. And now side by side still for the race lead. Jack Miles and Scyther elbows out. 5 cars under a blanket here in just under a second with about to be 10 laps remaining soon in this race. It's not over, and Centrix is just wiggling, struggling now on those soft tires. And Owen around the outside. Woo! Centrix had to gather it back up, and Owen taking full advantage there. What an opportunistic move. He says, "See you later, son." Now does Centrix battle it out to help the teammate. Oh, he lags inside of him, but still Owen will have DRS and Scyther will unjack too. Jack Miles is used to winning in Abu Dhabi, so no surprise with him out in the lead, but JTK gets Centrix. And now JTK having a look on Owen, and he can't do it, but Owen was about to get bump and run from JTK right there, and Owen had to run a little bit further not to get tapped from behind. Jack Miles has won before in this tier with McLaren, so no surprise there that he's doing well at a very flowy racetrack and one that has great racing like Texas. De Chiller with another track limit penalty. That is now 9 seconds to his name. We know Scyther's on the mediums. We know Centrix is on the more worn softs. De Chiller pits for fastest lap or just to come in. So we're going to switch off the tires. I'd say Scyther's a good contender for driver of the day, though. For Alpine. I really think so. Scyther's put on a really good showing. And yeah, deserves driver of the day from right now with this performance. And Owen off the road, coming back out in front of Centrix, but behind JTK. Still just a DRS train here. 2.5 seconds really at the worst to the last place car in this train. Lap car that Jack Miles is getting DRS from, that is De Chiller playing a huge favor to good friend Jack. They were teammates at one point in Season 9 F1. That was when Scyther was missing races, and De Chiller was still full-time in that team, and Jack took a race for Ferrari beforehand. Now, I really think this race, and in general, I know we've seen it before, but I think this shows, you know, in terms of drivers like Minico, Cam, TB, even Gecko, and maybe others that you could say are very fast on Xbox, Enter KVS as well. Very fast on Xbox, have the pace, but the one who seems to show it the most in recent memory and on this game cycle, it's been Jack Miles, I would say, in terms of drivers on Xbox that have not switched to PC and, you know, continue to show just a lot of strides for not only this tier and just all tiers as a whole, but just in general. Jack Miles deserves tons of credit, and De Chiller is still keeping out ahead of Jack with the DRS there. Is De Chiller going to go off track to get Jack DRS still? No. But Veered gets a 3-second time penalty there for track limits. Yellow flags That's Centrix around. And Centrix, what a naughty boy. He's retired on track. That's not allowed. This is catastrophic for Red Bull. And I'm going to tell you right now, because of this, they need an absolute disaster from the rest of this race for McLaren in order to win the Constructors today. That is pitiful for Red Bull. I'm a little disappointed to see that, but from an entertainment point of view, I'm happy to see that too. It's like they're wiggling, I think, wanting the chiller to get out of the way. And I think Scyther might be singing some Blue Flags song here. That Sebastian Vettel's song about 8 years ago now. It's a 4-car race, though, for the race victory with just less than 10 laps to go. It's like they're still not happy with the chiller. The chiller being a blockage. I think the chiller wants to be a part of this victory because, you know, he was a part of it when racing for Season 9 F1. But Hunted gets invade, and Scyther wiggling, just not happy with the chiller. He needs to get out of the way because he's really just being a ghost car inside of Scyther, just continuously affecting him, trying to pass Jack here. And I get the chiller's friends with Jack and Owen, but this is really unacceptable. You're a lap car. You've had blue flags. You don't care anymore. You're not in this race. Your only hope at being involved in the points now is DNFs or a safety car. But really, the only thing you should be doing here is trying to help Jack. You've been overtaken by Jack. You can't help Jack anymore. So now you're just in the way of Scyther, and you're a ghost car. And although it's ghosted and not ghosting off, you still should not be in the way like this. So right now it's a total of 33 points for McLaren to Red Bull's 15. How crucial is that? That's 18 points gained. That's nearly the constructors' lead for McLaren. Because of that. That Centrix DNF, very critical. Invade with a penalty, and now Scyther trying to claw back into the race lead, and he can't do it. JTK around the outside of Scyther too. I think the chiller is being a blockage now, and it's showing once again. He's in the way of this battling, and he has to get out of the way here, else he's going to get a penalty from the game and a penalty from the stewards. He's been in the way for 3 laps consistently. For Jack, that was fair, but now this is a little ridiculous. I get the chiller wants to be in a podium battle because he's not been in one in, I don't know, 22 races in Tier 1, but this is affecting Scyther. And it's affecting JTK, and it's affecting Owen. And in a way, it's helping Jack, so I guess that's what is the good thing about it. But still, just less than 7 laps to go. Blue flags constantly for the chiller. Still. I mean, it's unpredictable. Where are you supposed to go if you're Scyther? Alpine, this would be a big upset for them, by the way, just to mention that. Big, big upset it would be. So, the Scyther get the race lead here. He's ducking out, and he is going through to re-claw the top spot. This is ridiculous. Look at JTK having to avoid Jack there. That is a distraction. Owen trying to get JTK now, though. It's a 4-car race, but with lap cars included, it's a 5-car race. Owen on the inside of JTK. Oh, pinching. This gets tight. And Owen just hit the back of JTK there, giving a little bit of a hurry up message. Chat, there's not many of you watching, but for those of you watching, who would you give driver of the day to? I would say Scyther's a good candidate here for Alpine. Probably my only one right now. Fair play to Kippa running in the points. Fair play to Wavy. And Vade's not had the best of results after his pace. But fair play. We've got another Alfa Romeo car about to get in the way here. It's Virid. Oh. JTK punting the back of Jack. Bumping him around. Yeah, a race that's been filled with 3 safety cars. We're going to find out what happens here coming to the end. Just less than 5 laps remaining this time. Oh, Owen lunged down the inside. Making contact with JTK. This is a very tricky spot to go side by side, but they will do it. Owen out in the marbles, up against the barrier. Now, JTK trying to remain in DRS here, and he has a chance to do so. Both Alfa Romeo lap cars helping with DRS here, it seems. 5 laps to go. Three-tenths the gap between 1 and 2. Jack Miles had a peak. Remember, if any of these guys collide and, you know, have a race-ending collision, Josh is there to take the podium. But now Jack is there to take the race lead. Ooh, he didn't need any invitation. He just went through. Jack Miles up to P number 1 once again. Four laps to go now. And it's still just crunch time here in the remaining stages to see what can happen in this race for victory. Scyther has JTK for company. Just keep that in mind when this battle continues to go on. We got moves being made. We got moves being made everywhere. Scyther trying to defend. And now I happen to defend on Owen and JTK. Scyther shoving JTK wide. And now this is going to affect their run to catch Jack. And Scyther gets put off the track and comes back on alongside Owen. And they've all lost DRS to the race leader, though. If the next detection point was right now, JTK trying to blast past Owen. Owen alongside Scyther, using him as a pick. Side by side still. Owen gets shoved to the curb. JTK gets shoved even wider. 1.2 the gap now with the race lead. They need to work together now to catch back up to Jack Miles in order to secure victory here. But Jack Miles is being put in a really good spot. He's using some of his battery. So was Scyther. Owen with barely any battery to spare. Whereas JTK is in a similar boat to Scyther on the battery. 1.6 now. Scyther has to use it all in the last 3 laps here in order to get victory. And let's find out if they play DRS games here. But who's going to be the one to get Jack, if anybody? Owen remaining behind Scyther. Now going to go for it in the braking zone. Hopping onto the curb. making contact and using the outside line to perfection, while JTK is there as well. The gap now 2.3, costing themselves at a chance at victory. So this is all for second place now. Scyther going through. Owen trying to hang on. Owen back down the inside, and now, holy cow, he absolutely sent it to hang on. But now Scyther wants to go on the inside line and shove his way through. Scyther couldn't get it, so now he's going to try the cut back. JTK was almost there. He almost cut him off. This is a distraction with the Alfa Romeo in the way. This one is to Chiller. Sensational battling here, but it's all costing them a chance for a race victory. 3.0 the gap to Jack Miles. If Jack Miles picks up a penalty, then it becomes a race between Scyther and JTK. Right now, the podium made up of a Welsh driver, an American driver, and a Dutch driver, with an Irish driver being fourth. I think Scyther a little indecisive here. Coming to the braking zone at turn 5. Scyther has JTK for company, but does he go for an O? And he's going to go the long way around. Scyther riding these curbs, trying to find time, and he got on the inside line for the next corner. But how does Lap Carderas affect it? He doesn't know which way to go, Scyther. So now he's got JTK for company, and a little bit of bang in between them. And here they come with a lot of momentum. 3 abreast to the chicane, or sorry, the hairpin here. The long parabolica corner for Sector 3. 4 sectors remaining, and Owen just got overtaken by 2 cars, and now JTK is second with Scyther third. Jack Miles is about to enter the final lap of this race. Oh! That was JTK wide and almost into the wall. Final lap underway for Jack Miles. He's had 1 prior victory in Formula Endurance, but now he's trying to take off another victory and add a second to his name, and this victory would get him second in the championship if he just holds on, let alone help out McLaren. Scyther and Owen. Tactical DRS here. Playing mind games and costing them 2 seconds to the race leader, and then JTK is now caught back up, even after his mistake. If Jack Miles holds on, it will be a 3rd win in Abu Dhabi. In F1 cars, he's had one before as well in F2, but now Owen gets Scyther. Oh! Scyther getting tapped from JTK. It's still not done. Scyther going through using the inside line to his advantage. Owen can't claw himself back up there either. They have to hope for a last lap ditch effort to do something. Owen is there, more closer than JTK is, but Jack Miles is about to enter the final sector while Scyther goes defensive. The battling continues, but Jack Miles will claim second in the championship with this victory in Formula Endurance. He's used to winning in Abu Dhabi. He'll add another to that list. Jack Miles, the winner in Abu Dhabi. Scyther, Owen, JTK cross the line next. Scyther, my driver of the day. Best finish for Alpine in this tier. Another podium to them, tying that 2nd place. JTK 3rd. Good from him to hold on for Red Bull in terms of constructors fights. Owen and Josh, 4th and 5th for Mercedes. That will not be enough for them to stay in the fight. Hunted is 6th and Vade is 7th. Wavy, fair play, being 8th. Kipu, 9th. Very good result from Williams. Needed that. Valk, a point for AlphaTauri. And Mythic seems to be allergic to points. Used to P11. He'll come home as the last runner. The Chiller and Veered, a lap down for Alfa Romeo. But driver's not so happy with the Chiller there from the top 5 area. Jack Miles takes victory number 2 in Formula Endurance. And that is another win for him to add under the lights in RPL. He's very used to winning under the lights, it feels like. Whatever it may be. Las Vegas, Abu Dhabi, you name it. Jack Miles, victorious. Scyther's my choice for driver of the day. I think I have to keep it quite simple. And by the way, 3 different constructors winning this weekend. Jack Miles gets to celebrate on the top step of the podium once again. Scyther from worst to almost first, second place. JTK, a podium in Formula Endurance for the first time. He's really, I would say, alongside Owen, one of the most improved drivers here in RPL recently. Here are your final results from this race. Fastest lap went to Jack Miles in the end on a 3-stop compared to a 2-stop from some of these guys. Scyther the same right there. Here's a screenshot of the final results. That DNF really, really costed Red Bull with Centrix. Because the gap now into the final race is 2 freaking points between McLaren and Red Bull. We had 5 drivers we said goodbye to this race, retiring, veered with 18 seconds of penalties. We had 13 finishers, and we had 3 safety cars. This race, you see our out of the points finishers. Nice shout out to Valk and Kipu and Wavy points with those cars. This race, an hour and 30 minutes long, but it definitely didn't disappoint. That's for sure. It was probably, I'd say, the second best race of Formula Endurance. We hear the fireworks going off in the background, but all the fireworks continue next weekend in RPL. A constructors fight for Tier 2 involving 3 teams will happen. A battle for second in the driver's table. And, a constructors fight for Formula Endurance next week, too. Red Bull versus McLaren. That's quite the fight. McLaren won the first ever Formula Endurance race, and Red Bull came from a long ways back to be to this point. So, what a recovery story there. Tier 2's in Vegas for that constructors fight 3-way there. F1's in Hungary for the race next week at the halfway point. We'll find out what happens there. Formula Endurance next week for the finale is in Japan. What a racetrack that will be to race around. That will be tons of fun. And it's a McLaren, Alpine, Red Bull podium to end off the night. Well, folks, I'm your commentator, Ryan Searles. I will be joined by Owen next week for Tier 2, Titan next week for F1, and we're unsure what Formula Endurance for the finale will look like, but I'd love to get a co-commentator here for the constructors fight. Jack Miles claimed second place in the championship with that win, but yeah, tune into the action next week. 3 interesting circuits, 3 different areas of the world next week. We got Vegas for Tier 2, F1 in Hungary, and Formula Endurance in Japan. But until next time, folks, have a good night, and we will see you for the next event in RPL. Tune into our YouTube, RPL Formula 1. More content coming there. More content on the Twitch as well. We'll see you then. Good night, and goodbye.